Everyone, welcome back to our platform AgriEdit. I am Tulsi, your mentor for the subject entomology and nematology. As we had already started root knot nematode lecture, in the last class we have seen up to biology and life cycle of the nematode. Now we will learn about the host parasitic relationship, which is the continuation of the last lecture. In this class, we are going to see about the host-parasitic relationship, symptoms caused by the root knot nematodes, and some of the management methods which are used for the control of root knot nematodes. Parasitic relationship, it mainly includes how the root knot nematode is able to establish its feeding site into the host plant. The J2 stage, which are the most infective stage in case of root knot nematodes, will start attaching to the zone of elongation site of the roots. Then it starts moving intercellularly in the middle lamella of the cortical tissue. You have known the anatomy of the root system. In the last class, I had explained what is the first layer, that is epidermis, and next will be the cortex. In cortex, many cells will be present, and next will be the endodermis. In endodermis, again pericycle, and next is xylem, that is vascular tissues. After that, in between xylem, phloem tissues will be present. In the cortex layer, there are many cells which are connected with each other. Whenever the nematode, that is J2 stage, will starts entering inside the root system, it starts entering into the cortex. That is, intercellular movement will take place. In that, what is intercellular movement? In between the cells, the nematode starts moving. That is from one cell to another cell. After moving inside the cortex layer, it starts entering into the endodermal, that is endodermal layer, where the vascular tissues are present. So only it can take out the nutrients from the vascular tissues. The head region, that is anterior part of the head region, will be embedded in the or near the vascular tissue, whereas the posterior part will be staying in the cortex layer, like this. See, in the nematode, that is when it starts moving intercellularly in the middle lamella of the cortical tissue, then it starts reaching the root apical meristem, where it migrates to the center of zone of root differentiation. While during this movement, it mainly includes both mechanical force and enzymatic secretions, because plant is also having some of the immune response, that is it can fight against the nematodes. In order to prevent that attack, the nematode will secrete some of the enzymes which will be released into the host, and the tissue which is present in the vicinity of the root knot nematode will starts undergoing the condition, that is hypertrophy. What is hypertrophy? Enlargement of the cells. These enzymes which are secreted by the nematodes are from the esophageal glands, and it starts a reaction, that is chain of reactions in the procambial cells, which leads to the formation of the feeding site. The cells which are, that is the layers which are involved in the formation of feeding site are endodermal, pericycle, xylem and phloem tissues, which are present in the vicinity of the nematode, will undergo hypertrophy condition. Here the karyokinesis will take place without cytokinesis. What does it mean? What is karyokinesis? Multiplication of the nucleus. These are the cells. You know that in a cell division there are mainly two steps, that is karyokinesis and one more cytokinesis. Karyokinesis is nothing but multiplication of the nucleus. Cytokinesis is nothing but division of the cell. Here only karyokinesis will take place. What does it mean? That means multinucleate condition is created. Without cell division or without cell dissolution. This is the most important difference between the formation of giant cells and formation of syncytium. Whereas in case of syncytium, they cellular dissolution will take place, which lead to the formation of feeding site, that is syncytium in case of cyst nematode. But in case of GI, that is root knot nematode, only karyokinesis will takes place, and it leads to the condition called as that is multinucleate condition, and that specific structure are known as giant cells in case of root knot nematodes. Around 8 to 10 cells which are present in the, that is vicinity of the head of the nematode will starts enlarging its size, and it starts where the nucleus will starts increasing its number due to a due to karyokinesis. Later these increased, that is cells, will be modified by the root knot nematode in such a way that the whatever the nutrients which are taken place by the root system is directly diverted to the root knot nematode, and thus after entering inside the root system, the sedentary life will be led by the root knot nematode without showing any migratory movement. And the formation of GN cells is essential for the successful host-parasite relationship, because if a nematode fails to induce the formation of these feeding sites, then it shows that there is a non-host, or it is a poor host for the root knot nematode, and that leads to a incompatibility between the host and root knot nematode. This is what explained here. The nutrients absorbed by the roots are get diverted to the nematodes, and which results in the reduced plant growth, because the plant is unable to take out the enough nutrients from the root system, as the nematodes are feeding, and nematodes are taking the nutrients from the root system, and they are disrupting the vascular tissue, that is xylem and phloem. And how the enzymatic reactions will lead to the formation of hypertrophy and hyperplasia condition. The infecting nematode will release some of the enzyme, as I told. It is the enzyme released by the root knot nematode is protease enzyme. Protease enzyme on which they will act proteins of the host system. They will break down the proteins into simple amino acids. In case of amino acid, the most important, that is the one which has been increased more, will be tryptophan. Tryptophan will be more as compared to other amino acids, and it is a precursor of indole acetic acid, and thus it leads to the accumulation of the auxins, which auxin is nothing but it is a hormone, that is phytohormone, which can be formed from the indole acetic acid, that is, or it leads to a condition known as hormonal imbalance at the feeding site or site of infection. What is the role of auxin? That is axial growth. So as the auxin concentration increases, root instead of growing longitudinally like this, instead of growing longitudinally, it starts growing axially due to condition known as hypertrophy and hyperplasia. Hypertrophy is growth, that is enlargement of cell growth, enlargement of cells in size. Hyperplasia is number of cells will be increased in cortical, that is parenchyma cells which are present in the cortex layer. This result in the formation of the typical symptom, what they are called root galls or knot formation, which takes place within the 1 to 2 days of the infection, which is caused by J2. The main two important thing you have to remember: formation of giant cells which takes place, that is karyokinesis without cytokinesis, and how the hypertrophy and hyperplasia are formed. It is due to the secretion of the protease enzyme, and which leads to the breakdown of the amino acid, and that is mainly tryptophan, which is a precursor of indole acetic acid, which leads to a condition, that is instead of growing, that the root length, instead of growing longitudinally, it starts growing axially. So it leads to the formation of root galls or knot formation. Now let us know some of the damaging symptoms which are caused by the root knot nematodes. The above, that is below ground symptoms and above ground symptoms are there. In above ground symptoms, stunted growth, yellowing, and wilting is shown by the root knot nematode infested plants. Because why stunted growth? As they are disrupted by the vascular system is disrupted by the root knot nematodes, the plant is unable to grow in vigor or grow as normal. And yellowing of foliage because the root system is not able to take out enough nutrients from the soil, if even if it is present. So the plant starts showing the symptoms like yellowing and wilting also. Even the enough moisture is present that is inside the soil system, the root system because of impaired root system and vascular system as affected. So the wilting can be seen even in the presence of moisture condition, that is known as incipient wilting. Coming to the below ground symptoms that are most unique to the root knot nematode is formation of root galls or root knots. The adjacent galls which are formed will start enlarging and coalescing to form the bigger compound galls. You can see how the galls have been enlarged slowly. Initially, small galls will be present. After some time, they start coalescing with each other to form a enlarged compound galls. And these galls will impair the nutrient and water uptake. Now let us know the difference between the root nodules and galls. Root nodules, where they are present in the root system of mostly in pulses crops where they are involved in nitrogen fixation. Formation of root nodules is beneficial in nature as it is fixing nitrogen, and whereas the formation of galls, that is knots, it is parasitic in nature as it is impairing the vascular tissue, thus disrupting the plant system. Side appendages, you can see in the figure, these are like side appendages and soft in nature, and easily if you detach it, it can easily detach it from the plant root system. Whereas their galls are axial swellings as they grow axially in nature, like this system. And they are hard in consistency and they cannot be easily detached as like of root nodules. Root galls hampers the nodule formation of bacteria, thus reducing the root system, and number and size of the roots are also reduced, and thus infects the. Here, due to infection of the root knot nematode, the size and number of the nodules which are present in the pulse crops will be reduced, thus reducing the nitrogen fixation of the plant, and indirectly it is reducing the yield of the plant. Interactions with other pathogens, because as the nematode, whenever it starts feeding, its many feeding punctures can be seen on the plant, which is more prone to the secondary pathogens like bacteria or fungi. Root galls formed by the nematodes will induce several other pathogens like fungi and bacteria, and the gall roots are extensively colonized by the rotting fungi like Rhizoctonia solani. Due to the interaction, the plant will cause more damage compared to individual pathogen. The giant cells will provide the substance for the proliferation of the wilt fungi Fusarium verticillium, which causes the disease in cotton, that is cotton wilt. If the root knot nematode is present along with the Fusarium verticillium, the severity of cotton wilt will be more when compared to the individual pathogen if present. And the bacterium Ralstonia solanacearum in tobacco. Wilt disease in nematode infected plants will show enhanced and preponement of the disease occurrence. That means early occurrence of the disease can be seen if the plant is infested with the root knot nematode. Coming to the management practices, the first is cultural methods. These act like a preventive measures. The first thing is deep summer plowing. Why the deep summer plowing is carried out? Because in order to kill the resting stage or else the stage which is present in the soil will be exposed to the sunlight, where the extreme temperature will cause them to condition known as desiccation, and thus death of the such juveniles can be noticed. And use of plastic mulches can further enhances the efficacy of the above method. Along with the summer plowing, if you go on using the polythene sheets or plastic mulches, then the temperature of the soil will be increased. Thus it enhances the efficiency of the method which is followed in deep summer plowing. Rabbing. Next is rabbing. In nursery, it is mainly carried out in the rice fields. That is where rice husk are burnt with the rice husk are burnt, and the ash which is formed by burning of the rice husk will be mixed with the topsoil. So after that the seeds will be sown. It is like after that if you raise a root knot nematode, you can obtain root knot nematode free seedlings. Next method is crop rotations or cropping sequences. What is crop rotation? You growing of crops one after the other, one after the other. If you go for rice crop, then you will go for jute. In case of root knot nematodes, you don't follow the crops which are more prone to the root knot nematode one after the other, because if you follow chili after the okra, as both are susceptible to the root knot nematode, then the infestation will be more. If you follow the pulse crops after that cereal crops, as the cereals are poor host, then the disease incidence will be reduced. Cereal crops like wheat, maize, rice, pearl millet, or antagonistic crops like onion, garlic, and sesame can be fitted in the ecosystem or in the planting system, as they are poor host of the root knot nematode. Antagonistic crops, you know that marigold, onion, garlic, sesame, as they are having some of the properties like they will be secreting some of the chemicals which are toxic to root knot nematode. So thus the incidence of the root knot nematodes can be reduced by planting these types of crops in the field ecosystem. Next is biological methods. Organic amendments of nematode infected soil is very effective as it is having nematode toxicity. Organic amendments are nothing but like castor cakes, neem cakes. These will enhances the soil property in terms of fertility also, and indirectly it encourages the growth of natural enemies which will control the root knot nematodes. So use of organic amendments will thus has an advantage over the control of root knot nematode. Next is neem cake, which are used in the nursery bed treatment and even as a spot application and basin area treatment in different crops. It varies. And some of the biocontrol agents like oviparasitic fungi, this is important. Bacillomyces liliaceus, this is a fungi which mainly attacks the eggs of root knot nematode, and Pochonia chlamydospora and the bacteria Pasteuria penetrans. These three are important. Two fungi, that is Bacillomyces liliaceus and Pochonia chlamydospora and bacteria Pasteuria penetrans. These are found to be antagonistic to the root knot nematode. So in the controlling of root knot nematode, this plays an important role. And even these are not having any toxic or side effects, so you can go for it. Besides antagonists, there are some of the important biological agents like Pseudomonas fluorescens, that is bacteria, and Trichoderma hertzianum and Trichoderma viridae. These can also be practiced in the field ecosystem for the control of root knot nematode. Next is chemical methods. The last method which we will go for control is the chemical method. The nursery bed treatment can be followed with carbofuran at the rate of 3 kg per hectare in case of vegetable crops, and even in case of bold seeded crops like okra, cucurbits and cowpea, seed dressing can be carried out with carbosulfan. What is seed dressing? It is nothing but seed treatment can be carried out with the carbosulfan. And seedling root dip method with thianazine 500 ppm can be carried out in certain types of crops. The last option is chemical methods, because the other methods, after using the other methods like cultural methods, physical methods and even biological methods, as they are not having any side effects, you can go for those methods. If the disease is more prevalent or more causing damage, then you will go for chemical methods or use of nematicides. This is about the entire story of root knot nematode. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.